In August 1942, two Soviet snipers found themselves encircled by enemy troops near a rural village in Novgorod Oblast. As German soldiers closed in, ready to overrun any survivors, these women, unwilling to be taken prisoner, chose a path that would reverberate through wartime law. One of them was Natalia Kovshova, and this is her story. Natalia Kovshova, a sharpshooter whose 167 confirmed kills testified to her precision and cool-headed nerve. Yet it was the desperate, explosive act she and her companion carried out at the bitter end that turned them into enduring symbols of courage. This final decision, made under extreme duress, remains a testament to how far human resolve can stretch. Before diving deeper into Natalia's life and legacy, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. By showing your support, you ensure that compelling stories like Natalia's continue to reach new audiences and remain part of our collective memory. Together, we can keep history alive and honor the individuals who shaped it through acts of bravery and defiance. Born on the 26th of November 1920 in Ufa, Russia, Natalia began her path in a rather peaceful setting. As a bright, inquisitive mind, she sought to carve out a future in research at a Moscow-based institute, away from any notion of war or bloodshed. Her early life suggested a quiet route focused on science and discovery. Yet the summer of 1941 brought Operation Barbarossa, the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union, which would rapidly unwind the lives of countless citizens across the vast terrain. The call to arms became impossible to ignore, and for many, including Natalia, it was less a matter of choice and more a matter of duty. Instead of peering into microscopes, she found herself peering through a rifle scope, preparing to defend her homeland from invasion. In Moscow, she joined a self-defense unit, initially tasked with observation posts and communications. The city was on edge, wary of German bombers and sabotage. Although crucial, these support roles weren't enough for Natalia. She came to believe that the Soviet war effort required specialists who could inflict significant damage despite being outnumbered. Women's sniper units, born from urgent necessity, offered a perfect avenue for her to channel her methodical precision and unwavering focus. A transfer request to the Central Women's Sniper Training School followed, where she underwent demanding drills in marksmanship, stealth, and the mental stamina needed to excel under relentless conditions. Graduating from this intensive program, Natalia was assigned to the 528th Rifle Regiment, accompanied by her spotter and close ally, Maria Polivanova. Together, they became a coordinated duo. Maria scouted the surroundings, gauged windage and distance, and watched for any threats that might emerge. Natalia, rifle in hand, was ready to unleash lethal force on enemy officers, machine gun teams, or whichever targets required swift elimination. Although these kills were carefully logged for proof and morale, their success signified more than just numbers on a ledger. Each shot removed a piece of the German war machine and, on a broader scale, kept Soviet lines from collapsing under pressure. Her total of 167 confirmed kills emerged partly from significant engagements such as the Battle of Moscow, where Soviet forces managed to stop the once unstoppable German advance. Tucked away in foxholes or battered buildings, Natalia showcased an ability to stay focused for hours, braving the cold, hunger, and a perpetual threat of discovery. It was a grueling existence that demanded near superhuman concentration and nerves of steel. Her letters, if they managed to leave the front, seldom depicted the extremes she endured. Instead, they carried a quiet conviction that she and the Soviet people would see the conflict through, no matter the cost. Beyond her lethal accuracy, Natalia took pride in passing on her expertise to others. She provided guidance and training for aspiring marksmen, fine-tuning their technique until they too could keep calm under enemy fire. Every new recruit she helped mold became another link in a long chain of defenders. There was a sense of unity in this collective endeavor, a deep camaraderie forged in the knowledge that each sniper contributed to the broader mission of halting the Axis advance, often far from any hope of immediate reinforcement. Her humility shone through even as she stacked up confirmed kills. Viewing herself as merely a cog in the massive Soviet war machine, she genuinely believed that the best contribution she could make was ensuring there would be skilled replacements should she fall. Life on the front lines was fraught with hardship. Days dragged on amid artillery barrages and chaotic offensives, while nights brought frigid conditions that left soldiers huddled together for warmth in half-ruined shelters or slit trenches. A sniper's world was even more isolating. Often, hours passed in unnerving silence as Natalia and Maria lay hidden, scanning for the briefest sign of movement that might indicate a target. Food rationing was ruthless. especially in contested regions where supply lines faced constant threats. Fellow troops were lost daily to sudden mortar fire, machine gun bursts, and clandestine mines. Through it all, Natalia maintained focus, her duties both clarifying and unrelenting. By August 1942, her regiment faced an increasingly dire situation in Novgorod Oblast, near the village of Sutoki Byakov. German forces were relentless and better supplied, their sights set on crushing any Soviet resistance to pave a corridor through strategic points. The fighting became a cycle of retreats and last stands, with squads too undermanned to repel persistent assaults, yet too devoted to yield easily. When the corps went out for a final defense, Natalia and Maria dug in, using vantage points to strike fear into the advancing enemy. Each bullet they fired was a statement that they would not go quietly, that the Red Army still had fight left, despite dwindling supplies and overwhelming odds. Events culminated on the 14th of August when a punishing German onslaught battered the Soviet positions. Artillery shells and encircling infantry units soon hemmed in any defenders who had not already been forced to withdraw. Caught in a lethal trap, Natalia and Maria surveyed the diminishing options. Ammunition had nearly run dry, and to be taken alive as female combatants by the enemy was a fate they dreaded. Faced with the approaching wave of soldiers, they reached for their grenades in a last unified act of defiance. In the moments before detonation, a hush likely fell over the immediate chaos. Two determined women deciding that death on their own terms was preferable to subjugation or worse. When they pulled the pins, they ended their own lives, along with those of several nearby attackers, ensuring no further harm could come from this dire situation. After the shock and smoke cleared, news of their final stand filtered back to Soviet lines, igniting a mixture of sorrow and fierce pride. Both Natalia and Maria received posthumous honors from the Soviet government, their names etched into wartime records as prime examples of the unbreakable spirit that had become a hallmark of Soviet resolve. Fellow soldiers recounted Natalia's ability to maintain uncanny composure under mortar fire, how her precise shots opened breathing room for her comrades, allowing them to reposition or escape. While her 167 confirmed kills represented a lethal figure, it was that resolute, grenade-fueled end that truly defined her story in the annals of heroism. Her legacy persists, shared alongside notable Soviet female snipers like Lyudmila Pavlichenko and Rosa Shenina, who collectively proved that steadfastness and marksmanship were in no way bound by gender. Historians continue to examine her actions and their impact on key battles, revealing that even one sniper could tilt local engagements in favor of the Soviet side, no matter how critical or dire the circumstances became. In analyzing her final stand, experts underscore her desire to deny the enemy any victory, including the psychological boost of parading captured women as trophies. Decades removed from the war, the lessons drawn from Natalia's life remain striking. The power of unwavering loyalty, the importance of honing a skill to perfection, and the notion that a single individual can leave an indelible mark even in the largest conflict humanity has ever witnessed. Her example urges us to remember that those on the front lines are rarely faceless or nameless. Instead, they are ordinary people compelled by extraordinary times into making impossible choices for something greater than themselves. Thank you for spending time with the story of Natalia Kovshova. Should you wish to support the remembrance of such bravery, please consider leaving a comment or sharing this narrative. Each act of engagement ensures more people learn about her and the countless others who took up arms in defense of their homeland. By spreading her story, you help preserve a piece of history in which the human spirit shone brightly, even on the darkest of days. In remembering her sacrifice, we honor the countless sacrifices of others, reminding ourselves that in war, it is not just the grand strategy that matter, but also the actions of individuals who refuse to surrender their humanity or yield to oppression.